Hello and welcome, it's Lucas Aid and you join us now just into lap one of our Race of Champions here at the Performance Racing League. Sorry for missing the opening sectors there, just had a bit of an emergency, but we had to get the race underway. And here we go, we have Robsu defending from Ramsey in third place. So just to kind of run through what's going on here, we've got previous champions from all across various seasons, different tiers of PRL. So you can see Oni Tekka, I think he just lost out this season to, I think it was, who was it? GN's 96 down in 9th, but you can see a great battle with Rusty and GK Bass just holding on. We're going to do a few 5-lappers today, so hopefully we'll have a lot of fun and we'll see a lot of cool overtaking. Here we go. So we've got Adri and Ali Bata just fighting it out here as we approach lap 2, and we've got, who is this here? We've got Adri K just having to defend a little bit aggressively there, and he's now got 7th place, looking good in the Williams. Meanwhile, Oni Tekka already over a second and a half now, I think, ahead of Robsu in the lead. And we're at Melbourne, Australia, for those that don't know. Right, is there game audio? Let's check. Interesting. Looks like there's no game audio. I think I'm going to have to restart my game. I think it's a glitch. I think it's an EA bug, because... Here we go, yep, and then coming out of the pause menu has fixed the bug. We have fixed an EA bug, yet another EA bug, and we now have audio. I've done absolutely nothing other than pause and unpause the game. And now look what's going on here, Rusty Ollingham. We've got Ramsey now in 4th. Couchess making his way up into P3 in the Sister Williams. Adri, though, now down in 11th, may have had a bit of contact. Oni Tekka now over 3 seconds in the lead and setting the fastest lap so far, looking untouchable. Meanwhile, Northern, one of our previous champions, I believe, currently in Tier 3, doing really well in 10th place. And who's those? Spun! Oh, and he had to just take evasive action there of Gians and GK, who must have made contact into turns 1 or 2. Meanwhile, we've got Rusty now in 5th place, keeping it clean and making his way up the order. Let's see if we can follow on board, see how they do. Let's activate a few bits and pieces. Here we go. So right now, Calces, the absolute winner, up 5 places so far, but only Tech and Robsu are holding their own. I think Robsu's going to be a bit worried. Robsu from Tier 1, and Calces from the Premier Tier. So on paper, you would say this isn't too much of a battle, but that's why we like the Race of Champions. It always throws up a mix of performance, and we are running realistic cars. Okay, so the McLaren is a faster car than the Williams, at least on this game. Maybe not in real life at the moment. So that battle is, I think, going to hot up as we approach lap 4. Let's just stay on board. Actually, Adri and Gians are still going at it, it looks. Let's see if we can follow them. Oh, Ramsey has binned it on the exit of the final corner. Excuse me. And it's now out of the race, our first retirement, as we are now on lap 3 or 5, sorry, lap 4 or 5 even. Adri closing right up, good battery usage there from Adri, but it doesn't quite have that straight line pace. Oh, he's going to dive down the inside, a late move, and goes up into 9th place. Gian sensibly backs out, can't really do too much there. Let's follow our other battle here for 2nd place. Robsu's still doing a great job. He's 4 seconds behind Oni Tekka. Oni Tekka, I need to learn how to pronounce his name. But he's closing in. Much better line from Calces, the Premier Tier driver. And in the end, that was not really much of an overtake in terms of challenge. But Robsu's still doing really well. Just hits that apex quite nicely. You do not want to hit that red sausage, whatever you do. And he just misses it. Robsu will have time to react. If he can outbrake and outmaneuver through these last 2 corners, you've always got a chance in Sector 1. Oof. Back end got a little bit away from him, and again got very away from him, and I think that will probably be it for the race, I would imagine, for position 2. Oh, excuse me. A lot of people struggling on that final corner. So we've got GN's 96 now in 10th from that spin I think he had with GK Bass, but struggling to make his way back up the order. Robsu not able to now really catch back up, and only Tetra, well done to him. 4 seconds in the lead. Just goes to show how good the benefit is if you don't get into battles early on, even in a 5-lap race. Well, especially in a 5-lap race, there's just no chance for anyone to touch you. No pit stops, no safety cars, so it's just heaven. Northern Canuck in 7th though, what a great drive. Always super consistent, and you can see the results. They speak for themselves. If you don't spin, if you don't crash, you'll always get around that sort of midfield area. Slightly closing in on Ali Bata. Right, let's follow back on board with our race leader as he approaches the final 2 corners of race 1 of the Race of Champions. So nice and smooth through the exit, and only Tetra takes the victory of the first event. Well done indeed. Couches, oh, and Robsy must have just caught up on the exit. Wow, but Couches takes 2nd, Robsy rounds off the podium in 3rd position, Rusty in 4th, Bronco 5th, Ali Bata 6th, and Northern managed to get past GK Bass, it seems. Maybe that was a penalty, but yeah, GK Bass 7th, Ali Bata 8th, GN's 9th, and Adri now will round off our top 10 as Ramsey has not finished, so we'll round off all of our finishes. Well, it's a fun little race. I assume we're going to move on to a few more events, so apologies. I don't actually know the full sort of itinerary. Guessing we're going to do 5 races or so, just a few little 5-lappers here and there. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. That was a good bit of fun. Definitely, you know, those people that might have been saying, oh, this won't be fun because the Premier Tier drivers will run away with it. Well, that's not happened. We've just had a Tier 1 driver win the first event. I'm just reading the Discord. I was actually waiting to see who would first start talking about realistic cars. And yeah, all the comments are coming out. Because of course these drivers, they're so used to driving on what we call like equivalent cars, equal cars, where they all handle and drive the same way. It's just they've got the different team liveries. Excuse me. But to try and make the racing a bit more close, we've gone with realistic cars, and we've tried to give the faster drivers slower cars. So that's why you got Tier 2 drivers like Northern in the Mercedes. But that was an awesome little race there. Not too many penalties, nothing crazy. Only Tetra wins the race in the Alpha. Couches, I think that's how you pronounce his name, takes 2nd place, and Robsu rounds off the podium in 3rd. Rusty in 4th, Bronco 5th, Northern in 6th place, well done to him, GK Bass 7th, Ali Bata 8th. Gian's the amazing Tier 1 champion 9th after the spin he had on lap 3. Adri 10th, and Ramsey with the unfortunate DNF rounds off the entire grid in 11th in the Haas. Let me see if I can find out the next track for you. We're heading to Zandvoort. I've just been informed. That's one of the good things when a driver's DNF, they have a bit of time to talk to us. I believe we have some new entries as well. I think Jesse Force is now going to come play. So yeah, stay tuned. I think about 1 or 2 minutes time we will be underway again at the Netherlands at Zandvoort. Quite a fun track actually. Difficult to overtake at times, but should be a fun little 5-lap battle. Just reading the comments. £5 says Ramsey top 5. we should set up some sort of, I was going to say some sort of like betting platform where people can actually put like bets on performances, but I think that might then make the stream 18 plus, probably breaks all sorts of terms and conditions. So you'll have to place an imaginary £5 bet, I would say. I actually don't know how good Ramsey is here. I don't even think I've ever raced on this track in PRL, or if I have, it was over a year ago. It's not commonly chosen, so it'll be interesting to see how the drivers do. Do you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if one or two of these drivers don't have a setup for this track. Yep. Oh, look, that's amazing. Just as I go in, Jesse messages on Discord saying, I don't have a setup. Oh, dear. I think I do have a setup, but I would have been panicking as well, to be honest. Look at that pit crew, that Williams, is it pit, no, that Haas pit crew. There's 2 engineers there, morphed into one. Quite disturbing scenes. 5 lights. And they're out and away we go. And Northern with a good start. But an even better start from Robsu all the way up into P3. On the outside, is he going to go for the move on GK Bass? Yes, he is. He's going to ring it around the outside. And he's going to go all the way up into second place. Well done from Robsu. In the meantime, we've got a lot of side-by-side action. And we have someone right into the wall. It was Williams of Adri. He's right out of the race. No safety cars, though, on this 5-lap event. So we've got Northern now in the lead. Robsu with the amazing start. And we've got Ali Batter now. He's been spun, I think, on the outside. A bit of oversteer, perhaps. It's all going on. It's very hard to keep track. Only Tetra down in 7th now. All right, let's try and get on board. See what's going on. So you've got GK and Robsu fighting it out right now for second place after all that calamity in the opening sector of this race, this 5-lap sprint event. Northern with a fantastic launch, had to be said, but Robsu just keeping it clean, hanging it around the outside, very sensible in Zandvoort. You can take wide lines a lot more than people realise, and if you certainly watch the real-life races, you'll see what I mean there. Rusty and Gian's back down in sort of that 10th area, but he's got a lot of pace. Gian's can definitely win races. But for now, down in 10th. Meanwhile, Jesse now is progressing up. I think he's just closing on to Bronco. Jesse was very fast the last time I raced with him, but I've not actually followed him recently. This is a really fun final corner, that lovely banking sweeping right-hander into the DRS zone, which isn't active yet, and along into another really fun sweeping right-hander. You can take a pretty wide line here if you want. And then this is the section where I see a lot of different racing lines. Let's see how Jesse takes it. So he goes in a bit wider. Yeah, he goes in wider, hangs it. That's how I take it. Oh, a little touch of oversteer. But you notice the difference there. Bronco keeping it really tight on the inside. Jesse running a little bit wider. But all right, in the meantime, Robsu's caught him right up to a previous Tier 2 or 3 champion, I believe, Norman Cannock. So Robsu, the Tier 1 driver, in a McLaren as well. This is probably going to be a really close battle. I think Robsu will be backing himself to get the move done here. But GK, who I believe came 3rd in Tier 1 this season, maybe 4th. He is very rapid. I believe he might be getting promoted to Premier Tier, but could be wrong there. Either way, he's fantastically fast, certainly faster than I am. If you hear any coughing, apologies. I came down with something over the weekend, unfortunately, so I might be sounding a little bit gravelly. Right, Robsu closing in on Northern Cannock now. No rear wing open, but we are now on lap 3, which, as most of you will know, will mean DRS activation can occur. DRS is enabled. Robsu setting the fastest lap so far, though. Let's just enable our telemetry. Yeah, so with Zandvoort, the races can become a little bit, not stagnant, but making a move is hard. You need DRS, really, to do anything. The key thing, the key strategy around here is try and hang as close as you can to the car in front throughout the twisty, windy Sector 2. This bit here, these medium speed corners. You've got to be careful because you've got that aero wake. You've got to be super cautious, but if you can hang nice and close, then once you get into this sweeping right-hander, you'll be okay. And the DRS, this little mini DRS zone here in Sector 2 is just kind of designed to help close you in. And I'm just reading Polani's comment. Thanks for messaging, mate. It's good to see you on the stream. I'm not a previous champion. I am actually a Constructors champion with Northern. So him and I were teammates last year, and we did win the constructors, but I did not win the championship. That was Tar Heels, who unfortunately can't make it today. But yeah, good question anyway. But that's why I'm not racing. So Robsu now just closing right in on Northern. This is going to be a good battle, I reckon. We'll just stay on board with this. We have also got Ramsey. I'm monitoring Ramsey and Ali. If I see that number drop a little bit more, we'll switch right over. Oh, right over the curb onto the grass. Good thing that I think damage is on reduced. That would have been floor damage for sure. Oh, a bit of understeer there from Robsu. That did not... The car didn't look nice through there. You know what? Northern's really holding his own here. Bear in mind, you know, we do have, in terms of race pace and qualifying time trial performance and so on, a pretty big spread. You know, if you compare... No disrespect to Northern, but if you compare Northern to, say, one of our lower runners like even Ramsey, there's probably about a second a lap difference in their raw pace. But Northern is doing an absolutely great job. He's always been known for phenomenal race pace and consistency, as long as no one crashes into him. Yeah, Ramsey's doing really well. Oh, GK Bass gets past Robsy. Robsy must have made a mistake just as I came off of his point of view. I assume he just got a little bit wide, maybe hit a curb in the wrong way. And well, as long as Northern doesn't mess up, that's pretty much a game set and match for him here. But let's see, can Robsy fight back? It's going to be really tough to get a move done at this point. Yeah, I think Robsy's just got a massive amount of understeer. Maybe he's just burnt. I'm just checking his tyre temps. No, his tyres are fine. Must just be a setup thing. He's just really struggling. You do not want to have too much understeer here because there's so many long, medium speed corners. You'll lose so much time. Ali and Oni Tetra though. Here we go. Oh, Giants is out, by the way. I didn't notice that. Oh, what a move. So Ali gets past Oni Tetra. Good drive in there. On lap 5 as well. What a time to do it. Right, let's go back up to our race leaders. And Northern takes the win by half a second over GK Bass, and Robsu rounds off with another podium finish for him. Now we've got quite a big gap. Surprisingly big gap for a 5-lapper. But here's Jesse. Comes home in 4th. Well done to him. Thanks for joining us. Ali, Batter. Oh, I think he had penalties. But Oni Tetra, Ramsey, good drive. Ali, Bronco, Cal, and Rusty is going to finish us off. The final finisher in 10th place, Gians. Unfortunately DNFing. I think Adri as well. Some crazy spins. I just think a little bit of sideways action. A couple of little fights that went too far, but a great race overall. Yeah, just reading the comments. There are definitely a lot of different setups here, and they do suit different sectors. Sector 3 is, you know, that really huge straight, so some people just go for low downforce, just smash it down that straight because they feel like it's the only place you can get an overtake done. Other people, they try and make it nice and clean through those corners, those medium speed corners. But what a drive from Northern. Who would have guessed that Northern would win a race at this event? That's amazing to see. Just going to read the comments, just see what happened at the start. Yeah, I think someone might have had a little mini spin on the curb. In Sector 1, the curbs are quite aggressive here, and it seemed to cause a bit of a chain reaction. But look at that fastest lap, though, from Cal in 9th, 13.4. Certainly had a very good, strong pace in that Williams. Only one penalty, but that was, I think, Ali tagging Adri from the carnage. Yeah, G into the pit stop. Cool, that was a fun race. Again, we'll take about a 1 minute, a 1 minute break, and then we'll move on to the next race. Oh, thanks, Polani. Sorry, I didn't realise that my mic was completely broken. I had to unplug and plug back in my USB, so you haven't heard any of the racing. But I've been definitely tracking all the fastest cars and all the moves, which is good. So we've had a couple of little incidents at the start with G-Ins, GK Bass, but otherwise a really great battle here. You've definitely been seeing the best of it. Cal with a much more stable sort of exit on corners, but struggling with that straight line speed. Robsu definitely with a low downforce setup, maximising it through the straights. But, excuse me, but he is absolutely struggling with understeer in this section here, which is really hampering his race. But Rusty's been super consistent, good battery management. I think they're both quite low. And with a six tenths of a lead, I think it should just about be enough for now. Still got another lap to go though after this. Can Rusty hold on? 2% battery. It's going to be super critical for him. Great braking though into that hairpin. Excellent job there. But Cal is going to see those flashing lights and he's going to be licking his lips, I reckon. Yeah, Robsu absolutely flying on the straights. Just can't quite get it through the corners. You know, it's always a double-edged sword having low downforce. You've got to be confident. You've got to manage the tyres perfectly, especially just before those long straights. Otherwise, if you compromise your exit, doesn't really mean much, does it? If you go fast in a straight. Or great drive from Jesse, trying a slightly alternate line. Doesn't quite get the speed out of the exit, but he's putting Bronco under a lot of pressure. Adri, I think, will be shaping up another move. But Jesse with an amazing opportunistic move on lap 3 to get into P5 earlier on. Northern in 8th place, just closing in on only Tetra. That's really cool. I think he's going to approach this battle, hopefully towards the end of that. Oh! Adri with a massive bit of snap oversteer, it seemed like on my screen. And, oh, Rusty's been overtaken by Cal. Must have made a mistake, because that is not a place that you see overtakes. Right, let's go back on board. So, oh, Rusty's struggling a little bit there with the gearing. Cal with half decent battery. Oh, this is going to be close. I mean, Rusty is in the Ferrari. Let's stay on board. But Robsu's closed up, and we know how fast he is. Yeah, do message on Discord if the audio drops out. Just so you know. Will he go for the move? He will. He will. It's a bit late. Oh! Yeah, he has to give up on that one. Sensible from Robsu, you know, he tried it, but at the end of the day, he couldn't quite make it stick. He forced Rusty off the track, so conceded the position. Great driving, though. You've got to try it. Cal takes his first win at this exhibition event in the Williams. Hats off to him. Rusty in second, Robsu in third. Jesse fourth, Bronco fifth, Adri set. We kind of missed that. Tekka 7th, Northern in 8th. Ali's just making his way around Sector 3. And then the unfortunate G-Ins and GK are going to round us off after that unfortunate spin that they had in Sector, I think it was 2 of lap 1. But what a great battle we had. That was a really, really interesting and entertaining race, I have to say. A lot of good battles there. G-In's 10th. And GK is going to round us off. But I'm loving this spread of results. I mean, Robsu's being Mr. Consistent. You'd have to say if there was a trophy to give out, it would probably be to Robsu at this point. But otherwise, a massive spread of finishes, which is really good to see. Wow, what a performance. So yeah, Cow and the Williams takes the trophy at race 3 at the exhibition event here at China. Let me find out what the next race is. Okay, so we are going to Monza in Italy next. There are 2 races left, so the penultimate race. But what a great drive from Cal to take the win. Rusty in second and Robsu yet again in a podium position, this time in third in the McLaren with those crazy high-speed setups. Jesse takes fourth with some good moves, starting in 10th as well. What a drive. Bronco in 5th, Adri in 6th, only Tetra 7th, Northern in 8th, starting 8th as well. Ali in 9th, had a bit of an issue I think at the start. Gian's 10th with the contact with GK Bass, who was absolutely flying though, so hats off to GK. And Ramsey with the, I think it was a DNF, takes home 12th, but will classify as +1 lap. So stay tuned, we will be back in about a minute's time at Monza in Italy. Here we go. Sorry, we're right back. 5 lights. And away we go at Monza. Adri now starting in first with the random grid order. We're super happy. Look at this. 4 abreast as we go into turn 1, it looks like. This is always calamitous. I'm expecting crashes. Oh, wow. Was that a completely clean run for it? Wow. So Ramsey pushed a little bit wide, but otherwise nothing too bad there. Well done to the champions. Incredible racing. Let's stay on board. So we've now got Bronco going around the outside of Robsu. Robsu with not his usual trademark amazing start. Let's see how they do here. So Robsu on the outside, statistically not a good place to be around Monza. And only Tetra as well, struggling with a battle with Cal. Cal on the outside. Is Cal going to go for the move? He is, but he's got... Ooh, only should be able to cover this, I think. Oof, right to the back. Anyway, let's stay on board. So Robsu now. Robsu with Bronco just in front in the Alpine. And then Ramsey in the Haas. This is looking awesome. Adri meanwhile now half a tenth up in the lead. This is a fantastic racetrack. I agree with you, Polani. Sorry, Strada even. Look at this. Hats off to Ramsey. Great defending there. Holding 4th place through Parabolica. Bronco will be quite excited though, I reckon, for this battle. I think this is going to be an amazing race. I can just feel it right now. Cal right alongside Robsu. But he's going to be boxed in a little bit now, so I think Robsu could have this. Yeah, so, you know, this is a problem for Cal. He has to be careful not to rear end. Oh, and he's turned in and GK has just completely taken him out. I think GK was a little bit too opportunistic there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a difficult one. Cal did leave the door open, but I think, considering that Cal was in a bit of a fight, I think GK probably should have backed off a little bit. But, you know, it's only a bit of fun. None of the drivers are here to do anything malicious, but it's a 5-lap sprint, and there's no, you know, there's no money on the line here. Nothing crazy at stake, but that's unfortunate for Cal because that was an amazing battle. I think we've been robbed a little bit there. Speaking of Robsu, he is making his way up now in 6th, and he's going to hopefully try and close in onto Bronco, who in turn is going to try and get on to Ramsey. So I think this is going to probably be the key or like the main battle of this race. But Northern closing right in on Ali as we approach Ascari, which is my favourite corner on this track. Backing off super early, clearly not feeling too confident through here. Certainly if you're going to spin, it's going to be through Ascari. Rusty with a penalty though, let's take a little look into that. And 2 seconds, okay. I think that's all you get in sprint races, or like 5-lap sprints. Robsu, weirdly, excuse me, voice break, really, weirdly, Robsu seems to not have the straight line speed here. I think because everyone is probably... Oh, what a late move from GK. Bit naughty there. Robsu was super clever. You have to, like, seriously, that's underrated driving. That is the sort of driving that champions do. They see when someone dives down the inside, they open their car up and they say, fine, you disappear. I'm going to cut in. I'm going to get a nice... I'm going to prioritize my exit of the chicane. And I'm just going to take you right back, or, you know, what's often called a switcheroo, but it's kind of like a defensive switcheroo. So that was amazing driving from Robsu, not only avoiding the contact, but easily maintaining 6th place. A lot of other drivers would have just turned in and been eliminated. But I think a bit of impatience maybe from some of these drivers now. There are only two races left in this event. Jesse, though, with an amazing run through Ascari, maximising the width of the car. Adri desperately trying to break that toe. Since Jesse's turned up at this event, he's excuse me, he's looked really good. Wow, this looks like a done deal, doesn't it? Lap 3. Yep. DRS activated. Perfect timing. Perfect battery management. And so far, a perfect drive from Jesse. Nothing Adri can do there. Oh. Only just gets past GK Bass. There you go. So lap before, GK Bass diving on Robsu. A lap later, only Tekard getting past. Right, let's go back up towards... Oh! Ramsey going wide onto the gravel. Robsu says thank you very much. Up into P5 for him. Ramsey's luckily got a bit of a barrier, but he's going to have to be careful on those gravel-ridden tyres now. He's going to have a bit of understeer. Should clear up now along this straight. But only Tetra will close in because of that. Both of them do have DRS though. Oof! Wow, only Tetra on the limit, but you really have to be in Ascari. That was pretty incredible to watch. That would definitely help him close in. Might have been a track limits, but it was impressive. Parabolica, Ramsey running a bit wide, and that might be all that it needs for Only Tetra to move up. I think Only Tetra was slightly better line and carrying a bit more speed. Let's see how their setups differ, because they're both going to have that coveted DRS rear wing open. Yep, only with the toe. He's going to have to go very late on the brakes. And that's exactly what he's done. That was amazing. That was absolutely spot on. If you want to watch how to overtake at Monza, that is how you do it. You ace Parabolica, and then if you go on the left-hand side, you brake really late, keep it smooth, trail brake through into the chicane, and wow, that was really good. But now GK is getting past Ramsey, so Ramsey's getting a bit swallowed up. Not his best day today, Ramsey, actually, in fairness. But he's a phenomenally quick driver. Right, let's move back up the order because it is the last lap. So Adri's just not quite able to close in. I think the cars, you know, being in a Williams and realistic cars, is going to make a bit of a difference. But Jesse's battery's depleted. So Jesse is not quite gauged yet. Ooh. Well, Adri's going to have to give that one up. Yeah, you know, these are the ones that get interesting because, so, you know, if we're being blunt here, this whole overtake in a real race wouldn't count because Adri, like, you know, ran way off the track in order to basically gain an advantage on the exit. And so he can say, look, I overtook the car within track limits. And it's kind of, you did, but you set it up outside of track limits. But nonetheless, Adri does take the win at this event. Like I say, it's not a serious race. Jesse second, Bronco third, Robsu fourth, and wow, everyone's crossed the line. That was just mental. I couldn't even keep up. But yeah, an interesting end. Certainly good racing there. Good to see. We've got another race winner. Another race winner. Well done indeed, Adri. Massively quick for Ascari. Excuse me. Just reading the Discord. Yeah, there's a lot of nice sentiment here. A lot of apologies to Cal. I think Cal got a bit unlucky when he was taken out on that chicane. Adri's saying he ran 0-2 wings. Yeah, pretty much what you got to do. Especially in his car that he was given. Right, let's run through the order because that was certainly a very closely fought race. Adri takes the win just over Jesse, who did so well, but kind of threw it away by depleting his battery. I think if he just had slightly better battery management, that was his race. Bronco in third place in the Alpine. Robsu with another great performance, but his first race outside of the podium, so I guess he'll be upset about that. Only Tetra in fifth, good consistency there as well. GK sixth. Rusty in seventh. He's done really well today, actually. Ramsey in eighth. I think that might be his best performance. Ali ninth. Northern in 10th. Not quite as good around Monza, but it's a tough track. And Cal, unfortunately, with that DNF, I think he got all sorts of crap going on to him, to be honest, at that race. Certainly not his fault, but he'll move on. So, we've saved maybe the best for last. We're going to Silverstone for our very last event. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. For those that are just joining, this is the championship exhibition event for PRL, the Performance Racing League, and essentially it's just a collection of previous race champions across different tiers of our leagues. Just racing it out for fun, really. Just kind of, you know, showing off the league, showing off how exciting it can all be, and we're using realistic cars, so the faster drivers from the top tiers, the top leagues, they are in the slower cars, such as Williams, and then the slower drivers are in Ferraris and Mercedes and so on. So it's a pretty nifty idea. Big shout out to Cheryl Shaft, actually. I think he's one of the admins of the league. He arranged this event. I reckon we might see a range of setups here at Silverstone. Quite an interesting track. Normally, very, very good for 5-lap sprints. A lot of action. Right, I'm going to quickly mute, and I'm going to sort myself out before this race starts. Get some cough syrup. Here we go. We are already into it. I think everyone has a setup for Silverstone. An absolute classic of a track. 5 lights. And away we go. Adri off the line again, gets to start P1, getting a nice bit of luck there with the random order. But Northern with an amazing start. Oh, we have a car way off the track. Exit stage left for Jesse. What a shame. And we have a Haas all the way around. A lot of disgusting activity going on here. And was that Adri right on the back of Northern now? Late braking, but we've got Robsu again up there in 4th. Cal up there again and Adri. So can Northern pull it off again and maintain a race lead from the start all the way through? But a great race start from him. Well done. Otherwise, everyone keeping it pretty clean other than those 3 spun out cars. We'll have to sort of keep track of that as the race progresses. Adri with a slightly compromised line there. Oof! Cal, did Cal have to take evasive action? I think he did. And now Robsu's going to close right in. So let's keep on board here with Robsu. I wonder what sort of setup Robsu's picked, but I think I can have a guess. Slightly narrower line has compromised him there. Now Rusty's going to come up flying on the back of Robsu through one of the best sections of racetrack here. Nuggets, Beckett's and so on. Cal's looking very good out there. But Northern's, Northern is over a second ahead. It's very impressive. Rusty right on the back of Robsu, who already has a 2-second penalty. So I doubt Robsu will be getting a podium today at this race. Yeah, the Murky is looking very good around here. Clearly Northern's got a good setup on. There's still a lot of racing to go. Just one mistake is all it's going to take for Adri, the Premier tier driver, to get past. He will be relentless. Adri is not a driver that makes many mistakes. With a German robot. I mean that in a good way, of course. What a driver he is. And he's got Cal for company, though, who I think has just really dialed in some of these later events. He's known for being good around here, actually, Cal. Let's have a look at some of the lower runners. We've got GK, Bronco. It's really fun watching all these cars so close together. Oh no, we got a spin. Was that Rusty dropping the back end? Was that caused by someone? It might have been. Ali's going to say thank you very much, but I think he's just overtaken under yellows. Yeah, he's overtaken under yellows. Can't be doing that, son. Has to give back the place to Bronco. Jesse, in the meantime, I think it was Jesse and Rusty that had the spin, and it looks like they're already back at it from the spin. Maybe some contact, just missed it. There's just so much going on. As Rusty dropped it again. Oh no, that's a common place to drop it. Yeah, just had a little bit too much speed with perhaps overheated tyres. But do you know what? Most people are keeping their own, holding their own through here. I don't know how Robsu dropped back. I'm assuming he spun it. I think it was Beckett's maybe. Honestly, I don't know. There's so much just happened. If anyone in the chat saw what happened to Robsu, let us know. But you're right, he's all the way down in 10th and he still has that penalty. Wow. So it's looking like the race is going to be between these top 3. I don't think only Tetcha's going to be able to close in time. But having said that, you know, if these two Williams decide to fight it out, you never know. Crazier things have happened. Oh, it looks like GN's had to leave as well, which is a shame. So down to 11 runners, I just noticed that. But thanks for attending the earlier race, GNs. It was good to see you. Nice line from Cal, that right, you know, aggressively on those curves, maximising the track limits. Really, really fast through there. Good exit, and you can see the results closing in nicely on Adri. Looking very good. Northern is under a lot of pressure now. It was always going to be a big ask at a track like this for the tier 3 man to hold up 2 rapid Premier tier drivers, especially in the same car. Just closing in, and I think Adri and Cal will probably know to not fight too much here and just close in on Northern. GK Bass with a penalty for exceeding track limits, so that's going to drop him down 1 place at the moment to 6th. Bronco being nice and clean and consistent, but back up to our podium battle. Look at that, Northern dropping down. Yeah, that DRS zone. That was enough for Adri to get past. Now Northern's just got to be really smooth, not open the door too much to Cal. Yeah, I think Northern needed to give a little bit more room there. So I don't think Cal's going to let him back through. I think I would do the same. Just, you know, if you leave the door open a little bit through those long right-handers, you've got to let them through, or you've got to go really tight. But good racing nonetheless. It's been really awesome all the way through this event. But only Tetra makes the most of it, like we were saying earlier. All it would take is any of these front three battling too hard, and only would be right up there. And his reward is now a third place finish. Northern now under attack from GK Bass, and with a battery looking quite depleted. But do you know what? That seems to be a bit of a consistency throughout the grid. All those flashing red lights you can see ahead of you, so GK is going to be feeling quite positive. Especially Bronco, 40% battery. Right, let's try and close back up to this battle. I think this is where it's going to be. We are on lap 5 now. It's the final lap of the final event of this championship exhibition. Oof! GK really running wide there. Is Northern going to hold on? Is only Tetra going to close in? Can Cal perform the impossible and catch up? Probably not in this case, but there's a good battle for third here. Excuse me. Ooh. Nice. Well, fair play to Norman. He's really like dusted himself off after that. And 4th place is really good. Only Tetra just missing out on the championship in Tier 1 that ended last weekend. I think he was joint on points but lost on count back to I think number of second places. The closest ever championship in PRL history, just losing out. But I think he had won a previous championship before, I want to say. So great driver, and this should be his first podium of today. Northern holding on. What's this? Is this GK and Bronco? Bronco's going for it. It's the last race. You might as well just brake late, run it wide. The position is yours. Yeah, great driving. Or is there going to be an undercut though? Oh, Bronco might have run too wide. Bronco ran too wide. Oh no, but GK Bass then got a 2-second penalty because he cut the corner to get past. So yeah, GK did the right thing with the switcheroo, but then just cut that corner. And in the end, Bronco up to 5th place. Great driving though. What a great little battle at the end there. But Adri with the race win, proving that Premier tier pace is pretty rapid. And like I say, if any of you listening are interested in joining us, you can always just join the Discord. I think there's details on the Performance Racing League Discord chat. Yeah, we've got the official Discord links and YouTube links, so you can check out the racing, you can check out how to join us, you can do some trial runs. And the great thing about this league is that there are different tiers, so if you're not fast, it's fine. You know, you might go in the lowest tier, but you'll have fun. And if you're really fast, you know, you want to go into esports, you can go to Premier tier, you can race with the very fastest, and yeah, you can see what you're made of. So a lot of fun to be had, and just always reach out, always looking to add more people. Even if you can't race every week, we have reserve slots, so you can join as a reserve, and if there's ever any gaps for whatever reason, you can fill in. But this was an awesome event. It's a really nifty idea. Good to see. But Adri wins our final event of the day, starting in 1st and winning. Cal just not quite able to make it count. I thought he would have won, actually, I have to say. He looked really rapid, but just couldn't quite string it together. Only Tetra doing an amazing job, actually, opportunistic, getting past Northern after the battle that Northern had with, I think, Cal, when they had a bit of contact. Bronco in 5th, great late racing, keeping it clean. Jesse in 6th, GK Bass with the unfortunate penalty that pushed him down. We've got Ali Batter in 8th, Ramsey in 9th, Robsu 10th. His worst performance so far, but probably on averages the best performing driver of the day, I reckon. Finishing 10th, and then Rusty rounds off the grid in 11th place. I hope you've had fun. I'm just reading the Discord chat. People saying T2 is the best. Do you know what? It's probably the best for chat activity. And yeah, do you know what? Northern has really shown himself. Well, he's shown tier 2 well there. He's shown that just because you're in a lower tier doesn't mean that you're not a good driver. He's averaged some really good finishes. He's got a race win, a 4th, I think an 8th. That's some good numbers. Amazing to see. Well, I'm Lucas Ade, your commentator today. Apologies for some lack of comms and a bit of a cough. It is what it is. We've had some great fun today. We will now go on a break mid-season. There's going to be a draft. There's going to be some drivers changes, some team personnel changes. If I just quickly go to Discord, I'll try and find the dates for you. Well, the draft is on the 8th of April. And the new season will start on... Well, there are going to be pre-season testing races on the 16th of April, which I think will be streamed. But that's essentially when we'll be back. So you've kind of got a 2-week break to do whatever you want. So, you know, if you booked out your Sunday afternoons to join us, you can go take a 2-week break. Spend time with your partner, I guess, or your kids. You probably should, shouldn't you? But anyway, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave any comments in Discord. Let us know how you found it. Join us on Discord. Come on, do it. I'm going to say it again. Also, subscribe on YouTube. Do that. Just all the support we need. But thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you again in 2 weeks, or if you want to join us for the official races in 3 weeks' time. Thank you very much.